Welcome back, guys. Yesterday we had a Rex Raptor deck for you. Wasn't a whole lot of dinosaurs. Felt a little bad. So today it's going to be Weevil Underwood, and I promise a whole lot of insects. This might bug you guys. So the first thing is we're going to need a Weevil Underwood skill, and that's going to be Hyper Metamorphosis today. Next, we're going to use basic insects. We're going to use a single copy of the Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth, because any more than that, and you've overloaded your deck. We're going to use 3 copies of Petite Moth, and we're going to use 3 copies of Winged Cleaver to round out our monsters. Now, I know what everybody's thinking. You've only got one monster with any power, and that's because you guys may not know what the skill does. But what it does is it allows me to play all these baby bugs to get Mommy Bug. And I'm not singing the song. I already promised my wife I wasn't going to sing Baby Bug. Look up Baby Shark if you seriously don't know what I'm talking about and just replace Shark with Bug. Anyway, to get Baby Bug to be as strong as possible, we want to use the Amulet of Ambition. You're going to have 3 copies of that. Since we're using a whole boatload of normal monster cards that are 4 stars or less, we're going to see 2 copies of Faustian Bargain in here. Because other decks that can special summon multiple cards at a time are out there. 2 copies of Adhesion Trapple, and Mommy Bug needs her scales. So 3 copies Corrosive Scales. Hey Vabra, guess what? I just picked up another 5. I just picked up the same 5 from yesterday, sorry. Never bothered to change them, but, not really needed. So, if this was helpful for you guys, maybe go tell a friend. If you were only here for the list, you guys are good to go. If you guys want to know how this works, stick around, let's get into it. So, with Hyper Metamorphosis skill, all you really need to do is have a bunch of baby bugs and 1 mommy bug, and play to that. So you can activate this skill while you control a level 3 or lower insect normal monster, which is 9 of them in this deck. You discard 2 cards and tribute it, and you special summon the Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth from your deck, ignoring all the conditions. And the only drawback to this is the turn you do this, your opponent takes half damage. And to that, all I gotta say is it's still 3,500 points and one of the biggest main deck cards until the end of the week when, Obelisk the Tormentor joins us. Don't worry, we'll play him a lot. So, Hyper Metamorphosis, first turn every game. You only need to play this thing once. It's gonna be great. So, again, basic insect. Very low star level, just insect. Perfectly Ultimate Great Moth. No effect outside of explaining that you can't normal summon and set it, and it can only be special summoned by its own method, except Hyper Metamorphosis says do this too. Petite Moth, again, just need a weak bug. Same thing with Winged Cleaver. Now, the Amulet of Ambition is a great equip card, and what this is going to do, and the reason why this is so good for baby bugs, is you can only equip this to a normal monster card, and if it battles another monster that has a higher level than it, your monster, your equipped monster, let's say basic insect, you know what? No, let's say Petite Moth. Okay, Petite Moth, weakest star level that it could be, 1. Battles against, it doesn't matter, Blue Eyes White Dragon. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to get to gain attack to the difference of the star level times 5. So 1 and an 8, 7 times 5, 3,500. Add your 3, 3,800. Petite Moth absolutely wrecks Blue Eyes. Moment of silence, because that is awkward. Petite Moth wrecks Blue Eyes in 1-on-1 with the Amulet. Let that hang in the air another 2 seconds. Okay, moving on. So we're going to use the Faustian Bargain. And again, we've got so many wonderful low-level normal monster cards that this is going to do is excel in taking our opponent's special summon monster off the board. And again, when you're dealing with Relinquished and Restrict, guess what, guys? They're gone. This isn't being destroyed by battle. They don't get to pitch the material card first. They're gone. You eliminated them from the board. Perfect. Trap card, Adhesion Trapple. Again, playing against something like Dragon Color. Again, I don't know anything that's actually going to go hard enough to be able to beat Mommy Bug. Mommy Bug is at 3,500. Mommy Bug says no. Yeah, so I mean, maybe if you were playing with like Gaia with the equip cards the way that I was doing, this might happen. Except Adhesion Trap Hole is going to tell Gaia, you're like 1150, who cares? So that's a thing. And then, of course, the Corrosive Scales. This is like one of my favorite cards in the deck, and I wanted to maximize the playability. So I went ahead and I placed all 3 copies in here, even against my own like normal common sense. Because I was honestly thinking about doing 2 of these with 1 copy of Waking the Dragon. But then I was just like, well, just throw that back in the box. I mean, I'd rather consistently get the Corrosive Scales since there's not a situation, there was not a test hand that I played where I wasn't able to develop Mommy Bug at the beginning of every game I played with this. And what you're going to do with this is you're going to target an insect you control, equip this card to it. While you control the equipped monster, the opponent's monsters cannot attack insects except this card. And while this card is equipped to a monster, each time my opponent normal or special summons a monster or monsters, or activates a card, or activates an effect, I place a scale counter on every face-up monster they have, and monsters my opponent control lose 100 AD for every scale counter. Now, this isn't as crazy as playing against something super loopy where you got some infinite strategy like Red Blue Samurai, or I think Firewall Dragon Burn did that, or insert your favorite loop here. I don't really mind, guys, but the only way Corrosive Scales could get worse for your opponent is if we could also say, like, the monster dies when it hits 0 or something. But it's another quick way to make sure that Mommy Bug is forever the toughest bug on the block. And I love this deck because, again, I didn't really care for Weevil as a character in the show, and his card choices always seemed a little weird, but being able to take another iconic character from the show and one of their favorite cards that they were debuted with that made them seem like this insurmountable terror, and be able to play that card effectively first turn every game I played, and then still have an extra card or 2 depending on if I went first or second to further my own plays. Yeah, I would suggest that you guys go out and try this. Most of this is actually found with the in the structure deck with them, actually, because insects were not that dominant beforehand. Again, I just kind of lay the extra deck down. Again, I was almost thinking about playing the Waking the Dragons. Had I done that, I would have taken one of these guys out, probably this one, put a Ryu Senshi in there, and picked 2 of my other favorites. But that's it for today. I got 3 more decks to go, so I got to get busy. I got to get back to it, so I'll see you guys later.